Hello everyone. I just wanted to talk to you about one of the most important choices you have to make before you go out for a shoot. Lenses can be very useful to any photographer or filmmaker. I personally like to use the prime lenses just because I'm usually thrown into low light situations, but it doesn't hurt to try different lenses for more unique shots. Telephoto lenses are very useful and they're very convenient. They have a lot of versatility for wide-angle shots and much more for like a close-up depending on the zoom lenses that you have. But sometimes you may be zooming in without realizing how does the image become affected when you do that. Now I won't go too much into depth of field, but just leave a comment if you're interested. I'll try to make another video that would cover that topic. The lenses that I currently own is the Canon 18 to 55 millimeter, which is just a kit lens, a Canon 50 1.8 millimeter, which is very useful for beginners and I strongly recommend it, well depending, and this is a Nikkor 18 to 200 millimeter lens. Now the lens that I have on the camera is my most favorite one, which is the Sigma 30 millimeter 1.4. Now for these purposes, I'm going to be using the 18 to 200 to really demonstrate the point of how light is interpreted through the lens onto the sensor of the camera. Here are some photos that I've taken of my brother. I relatively try to keep him within the same frame. As you can see from the subject and the background, the lens is creating a unique look to each shot. Many photographers and filmmakers use this to their advantage. Now the reason why I bring up this topic is because you really have to think about what you need the lenses for and what would be very beneficial for you for the kind of work that you do. For example, the 50 millimeter, it's meant for full frame cameras, and on my Canon 60D, which is a crop censored camera, there is a crop factor, which is 1.6. So you multiply that number to the focal length of the lens, and that would be your, true number or focal length that you see through the camera. I enjoy this lens. I definitely would recommend it to people that are just starting out. But if you're going to be doing landscapes, I would not recommend this because you're going to have a really hard time with it. If you're trying to go for those really wide-angled shots where you're trying to let in, all the nature, if you will, this lens would be a very hard thing to work with because you're practically zoomed in. Now in 18 to 55, at 18 it's really distorted, but it's better than nothing. And if you're just starting out, I would still recommend it just to use it. Now if you're dealing with portraits or in a more professional means, I would recommend using a focal length around 80 millimeters because it has to deal with shaping your subject, not only affecting the background. Now again, for me personally, my 30 millimeter is my most favorite, and for me I just do this as a hobby and I just like to be creative. So that's why it doesn't really hurt to try with different focal lengths because you never know the kind of shots that you get out of it.